Novaterra floated in silence above a cold blue planet. It was a hidden colony deep in the Orion expanse, far from the crowded lanes of galactic traffic. From space, it looked like a small cluster of silver domes and landing pads nestled into a canyon. To the people who lived there, it was home, and their last chance to live free. Commander William Carter stood at the edge of the observation deck. His uniform was plain. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp and tired. He had led Novaterra for 10 years. Once he served in the Galactic Fleet. Now he protected what was left of his kind, the last known group of humans in the galaxy. The sky above was dark and full of stars. But tonight, the stars felt closer. Watching. Waiting. "Sir," said a young officer, walking up behind him. "Message from the outer sensor grid. We've picked up movement. Multiple ships. No ID tags." William turned slowly. "Council ships." The officer nodded. "It matches their pattern. And there's more. The Council just broadcast a system-wide alert. Humanity is officially listed as a Class 1 threat." William closed his eyes for a moment. He had expected this day. Hoped it wouldn't come so soon. "Prepare a quiet lockdown," he said. "No panic. Just readiness." The officer ran off. William stayed a little longer, staring into space. By morning, the colony buzzed with quiet tension. People went about their work, farming, mining, maintaining solar shields, but something hung in the air. The news had spread, even without official word. In the command hall, William met with the colony's leaders. Scientists, engineers, medics, and defense officers all sat around a simple table. "They've made it official," William said. "They're coming. The Council doesn't want us to exist anymore." A medic named Lena shook her head. "But why now? We've stayed hidden. We've caused no harm." "They don't care," said Mark Doran, head of security. "To them, humans mean war. We had our chance. We blew it. They fear what we could become," William added. "Not what we are." The room went quiet. "So what do we do?" asked Lena. "Run." "There's nowhere to run," William said. "And even if there was, we'd only delay the same ending. We stay. We defend. We send out calls for help to anyone who might still listen. They'll wipe us out. Maybe," William said. "But if we go down, we show them that we changed. That we mattered." There were no cheers. Only nods. Quiet understanding. Everyone in that room knew what was coming. And still, no one walked away. Later that night, William sat in his quarters, recording a message. "This is Commander William Carter of Novaterra. To anyone who hears this, we are the last known human colony. We are not what we were. We seek only peace. But the Galactic Council has decided that we are a threat to be erased. We are asking for help, for a chance to prove we deserve to exist." He paused. "To any old friends, allies, or outlaws, if you still believe in choice, now's the time." He sent the message across the void. Then he stood up, walked to the window, and watched the stars again. But this time, he didn't just see them. He waited for what was coming through them. The sky above Novaterra changed. Days passed. The stars were no longer just lights in the dark. They moved, slowly but surely. A fleet was approaching. Commander William Carter stood in the war room, eyes locked on the holomap. Dozens of red markers flickered across the screen. Council ships, big ones, carriers, destroyers, surveillance drones. They were still far, but every hour brought them closer. "Estimated time to contact?" William asked. "For days, maybe less," replied Officer Riolang. "Depends on how fast they push through the dust belt." William nodded. "Has the Council responded to our message?" No reply. He wasn't surprised. Later that morning, the message came. A single ship, sleek, silver, and armed, broke away from the fleet and entered Novaterra's orbit. It sent down a transmission. Everyone on the colony watched from screens, radios, and towers. A tall, pale alien appeared. He wore the black and silver robes of the Council. His voice was cold and flat. "This is Delegate Praven of the Galactic Council. Novaterra, you're in violation of Directive 7B. Humanity is classified as a Level 1 threat. You're ordered to disband all defenses, shut down your systems, and prepare for removal. This is your only warning. Comply, or be destroyed." The message ended. No threats. No room to speak. Just orders. Inside the main hall, the colony leaders gathered again. "That's it then," said Mark Doran. "No talks. No chance." Lena paced the room. "How can they do this? We've lived here for years. We've harmed no one." "It's not about harm," William said. "It's about fear. To them, we're a reminder of wars, of chaos. They think killing us will erase the past." "Well, they're wrong," said Rhea, "because we're not going down that easy." There was silence. Then William stood. "We have 4 days. We use every hour. We fortify the shield grid. We stock the shelters. We train every able hand. We make sure they know we're not just a memory. We're still here." Mark nodded. "What about the children?" "They go underground," said Lena. "The safest levels with the medics and elders." William agreed. "No matter what happens up here, the next generation must live." As the colony moved into action, William returned to the signal station. He opened the communication logs. There were no responses yet. But then one blinked. An old, encrypted code appeared, one he hadn't seen in years. He entered his passphrase. A message unfolded on screen. "Message received. Stand by. Not all machines have forgotten you." William stared at it. A rogue AI group he once helped during a rebellion. They were listening. Hope, small but steady, sparked inside him. He turned to Rhea. "Give me the old list. Anyone who might still owe us a favor. Outlaw, drifter, or diplomat." "You really think they'll come?" William looked out the window. "I think we're out of time to wonder." The first attack came just after midnight. Novaterra's early warning systems picked up the incoming missiles only minutes before they hit. Sirens wailed through the colony. Red lights flashed in every corridor. The sky, once clear and cold, lit up with streaks of fire. Commander William Carter was already in the control center when the first shockwave hit. "Shields holding?" he asked, gripping the edge of the table. "Barely," Rhea Lang replied. "Outer Dome took the brunt of the hit. We got damage in Sector 3. Casualties? 2 injured. 1 critical. No deaths yet." William exhaled. "Get repair crews out there. We need those shields up. They're testing us." Outside, Novaterra scrambled to respond. Drones flew overhead, scanning for more incoming threats. Engineers worked fast, patching shield panels and resetting power nodes. Families huddled in underground shelters, children holding tightly to each other. No one screamed. No one panicked. They all knew what was at stake. In the medical wing, Lena worked quickly, calming a boy whose arm was badly burned. "You're safe now," she said gently. "We've got you." She looked up at the shaking ceiling and whispered, "We all need someone to save us." Back in the command center, Mark Doran brought up new intel. "They're not going all in yet," he said. "This was a warning shot, a scare tactic. They want us to surrender," William said. "But we won't." Mark looked uneasy. "If they hit us with everything, I'm not sure we can hold." "We won't have to," William said, "if help comes in time." He walked to the console and opened the secure message channel again. More signals had arrived, scattered, coded replies from the dark corners of the galaxy. A rogue AI network had confirmed support, small in number but powerful in tech. A neutral alien tribe from the Creel system had sent a single line. "You saved us once. We remember." It wasn't an army, but it was something. That night, William walked the edge of the colony, past the defense walls and watchtowers. The stars above were no longer beautiful. They were dangerous. He thought of Earth, long gone, a planet poisoned and broken by its own people. The Council had judged all humans based on that history, and maybe they were right to be afraid. But Novaterra wasn't Earth. These people had built something different, something better. They farmed without harming. They solved problems together. They had peace until now. He stopped at a bunker door where young cadets stood guard. One boy saluted. "Commander, are we really going to fight them?" William looked him in the eyes. "Yes," he said simply. "Because if we don't, there won't be anything left of us." Just before dawn, William returned to his quarters. He activated a hidden terminal beneath his desk. Inside was a file, marked Council Eyes Only. He had stolen it years ago before leaving the fleet. He opened it now. Inside was a truth no one else knew. The Council didn't just ban humans because of history. There was a prophecy, a vision seen by one of the Council's elder species. A human would rise to lead a rebellion that would break the Council's control. William stared at the screen. They weren't just afraid of the past, they were afraid of the future. He closed the file, his jaw set. If the Council thought they could erase that future, they were wrong. Nova Terra had survived the first strike, but the worst was yet to come. Council warships were closing in. Each day, their signal grew stronger. The fleet would be in full range by the end of the week. Everyone in the colony could feel it, the quiet before the storm. Commander William Carter moved through the main corridor with urgency. Defense drills were running. Supply teams were checking food, water, and medical stores. Young cadets were practicing in the training yard with tired eyes and clenched jaws. There was no time left for fear, only focus. In the control center, Rhea Lang called out, "Commander, incoming transmission. Unknown ship, entering outer orbit." "Is it Council?" William asked quickly. "No, it's the AI." William's eyes narrowed. "Put them through." A moment later, the screen lit up. An artificial face appeared, smooth, featureless, glowing blue. Its voice was calm but mechanical. "We received your call. You once spared us destruction. We remember. We have come to return the favor." "How many of you?" William asked. 5 ships. Stealth tech. Quantum disruptors. "We are not many, but we are enough to help you fight." William nodded. "You came. That's what matters. Do not fail us, human. If you fall, the Council will come for us next." The screen blinked off. Rhea turned to William. "That's one piece of the puzzle. Still not enough." Hours later, another alert. A small cruiser dropped out of hyperspace just outside Nova Terra's range. Its design was strange, curved like bone, pulsing with green energy. The Creel had arrived. William rushed to the landing bay. When the ramp lowered, a tall alien stepped out. His skin shimmered like metal, his 4 arms folded calmly. He wore no armor. "Commander Carter," the alien said in a low voice. "Your people once saved a group of my kind from a mining collapse. We have not forgotten." "We're honored," William replied. "We do not fight wars," the Creel leader said, "but we will shield your wounded and protect your young." "Then you're just as much a part of this fight as anyone," William said. The Creel bowed his head. "So be it." By nightfall, Nova Terra was no longer alone. The rogue AI ships cloaked themselves above the colony, invisible but ready. The Creel had taken up position near the underground shelters, setting up force fields that shimmered like glass. A strange kind of hope settled over the colony, thin but real. Then came the betrayal. Mark Doran burst into William's quarters holding a datapad. His face was pale. "Someone leaked our defense codes." William stood up fast. "What?" "Our shield frequencies. Our drone patterns. Everything. The Council knows." "Who?" Mark hesitated. "Lieutenant Hal Rowan. He accessed the secure files 3 days ago and sent a hidden message. We found it too late." William's jaw clenched. Why would he do this? His sister was captured by the Council last year. They promised to free her if he helped. William closed his eyes. "Where is he now?" He shot himself before we got to him." Silence filled the room. William took a deep breath. "Then we change everything. Frequencies, codes, patrols. No more mistakes." That night, he spoke to the colony. People gathered in shelters and halls, listening through speakers and screens. "I won't lie to you," he said. "The Council is coming, bigger and faster than ever. One of our own gave them what they needed to destroy us." A wave of quiet shock spread. But we still stand. And now, we are not alone. Machines who once feared us now fight beside us. Aliens who once avoided us now protect our young. Because they see what we've become. He paused. "We may be human, but we are not what we were. We are better. And if this is the end, then we meet it as more than survivors. We meet it as proof that humanity still has worth." Across Nova Terra, people stood together, silent, strong, and ready. Above them, the Council fleet moved closer. War was coming. The Council fleet arrived with no warning. Hundreds of warships dropped from hyperspace, casting shadows across Nova Terra's sky. Massive carriers hovered like dark clouds. Their weapons glowed red, aimed and ready. Smaller drones spread out in tight formations, scanning for weak points. Inside the command center, alarms wailed. "They're in range," Rhea Lang said quickly. "Full attack expected within the hour." Commander William Carter stood still, staring at the fleet's position on the holomap. His face was calm, but his hands were clenched. "Hold the shields," he ordered. "Power up the disruptor grid. Get every drone in the air." "Yes, sir." But he knew brute force wouldn't be enough. They were outnumbered, outgunned. The only hope now was to go to the source. William turned to Mark Doran. "Prep the Phantom-class shuttle." "I'm going up." Mark blinked. "Up? Where?" "The Council flagship." "That's suicide." William shook his head. "No, it's strategy. I once served with these people. I know how they think. If I can disable their command system from the inside, we might have a chance. If not, we're already dead." The shuttle launched in silence. Stealth Tech kept it hidden as it slipped through enemy lines. Above him, the Council's main ship, a giant spear-shaped vessel, loomed in orbit. William docked in a forgotten maintenance port. He moved fast, knowing time was short. His old access codes, long thought erased, still worked. Some parts of the ship hadn't been updated in decades. He passed through narrow halls lit with white-blue light. No guards, no movement, just the hum of power. At last, he reached the central command tower. The door opened. Inside stood High Chancellor Virex. Tall and thin, with pale, silver skin and deep black eyes, Virex looked almost ghostly. He wore dark robes, his hands clasped behind his back. He did not seem surprised. "You came alone," Virex said. His voice was calm, cold. "Just as I thought you might." "I didn't come to beg," William said. "I came to stop this." "There is nothing to stop. You're a dying species. A virus. The Council's order is final." William stepped forward. "You fear us. Not because of our past. Because of what we might become. Because of a prophecy." Virex's eyes narrowed. "You were never meant to see that file. But I did. A human will lead a rebellion. That's why you're here. Not because of Earth, because of the future." Virex's expression did not change. "The future is dangerous. It must be controlled." "You're wrong," William said. "The future is choice. And you're afraid of losing control. You cannot stop what's already begun." "I already have." With a flick of his wrist, William activated a hidden device. It pulsed once, then connected to the ship's control system. "Override code 731B. Carter Protocol. Reactivate human lockdown." Virex stepped forward fast. "You can't." "I served on this ship," William said. "I helped design the core systems." "You changed the locks, but not the walls." All around them, lights flashed red. Alarms began to echo through the halls. Control systems shut down. Weapons froze. Drones stopped moving in midair. On Nova Terra, the enemy formations suddenly broke. Council ships drifted. Their weapons fell silent. Rhea stared at the screen. "Something's happened. Their fleet, it's frozen." Mark laughed in disbelief. "He did it. William actually did it." Back on the Council ship, Virex stood still. His voice dropped to a whisper. "This changes nothing." William turned to leave. "It changes everything." He walked back to the shuttle as sirens screamed around him. Nova Terra had one more chance, and now the Council had to decide, peace or pride. Nova Terra braced for a final attack, but it never came. High above the colony, the Council fleet hung in silence. Their weapons powered down. Their drones hovered midair, frozen. The entire assault force had been disabled. In the command center, Rhea Lang stared at the blinking console. "All systems are clear." "They're not firing. They're not moving." Mark Doran let out a slow breath. He did it. William shut them down. A quiet cheer spread through the room. Not loud, not wild, just relief. But it was too soon to celebrate. The fleet wasn't retreating. It was just paused. "They'll try to take control back," Rhea said. "This won't last. Then we hold them off until the end," Mark replied. Outside, the colony was alive with purpose. Defense teams stayed at their stations. Engineers reinforced shield generators. The Creel tribe maintained force fields around shelters. And above, the rogue AI ships decloaked, ready to protect the colony. In orbit, Commander William Carter guided the shuttle away from the Council flagship. Behind him, red alarms flashed inside the massive ship. He had bought them time, but not victory. He opened a channel back to Novaterra. "Status report," he said. "We're stable," Rhea replied. "They're frozen." "You did it." "Not for long," Williams said. "Prep for the counterattack. This time we lead." The first strike came from the rogue AIs. 5 black ships emerged from stealth, flying in perfect formation. They hit the nearest Council cruiser with precision, not to destroy, but to disable. Engines fried. Communication towers melted. The ship drifted. The Council's smaller ships began to react, trying to reroute control. Some flickered back to life, firing blindly. Novaterra's drone defense met them in the upper atmosphere. A dogfight began. Bright streaks of light crossed the sky. Explosions cracked through clouds. One of the Creel's shield towers flickered as debris rained down, but held strong. Novaterra's forces fought hard. Smart, not reckless. They focused on survival, not conquest. Inside the command center, Rhea called out updates. 2 enemy ships down. AI reinforcements holding the flank. No breaches on the colony yet. Mark added, "Our drones are outnumbered, but their coordination is falling apart. They're not used to chaos." William's voice came over the comms. "That's what makes us human. We survive in chaos." Back in orbit, William landed the shuttle near a disabled Council ship. He transmitted one last message to the entire fleet. "This is Commander Carter. You've lost control. You can still choose peace. Power down your systems. Return home. Let's live." At first, there was no answer. Then, slowly, one by one, several Council ships powered down. Their lights dimmed. Their weapons retracted. Some turned away and jumped to hyperspace. Not all of them, but enough. The rest followed in silence, unwilling to continue without clear command. The battle was over. On Novaterra, people stood in silence, staring at the sky. The threat that hung over them for days was gone. In the control center, Rhea sank into a chair. "Is it over?" Mark smiled for the first time in days. "It is for now." William returned hours later. As he stepped off the shuttle, the people of Novaterra gathered around him. No one shouted. No one clapped. They just stood there, proud and quiet. William looked at the sky, now peaceful again. "We're still here," he said softly. He looked at the children peeking out from behind their parents. The future was still theirs. The morning after the battle was still. No smoke, no sirens, no enemy ships in the sky. Just quiet air and pale blue light over Novaterra's rocky surface. The colony had survived. Commander William Carter stood at the edge of the cliff near the eastern ridge. From there, he could see everything: the shield towers, the domes, the landing bays. People moved slowly below, tired but safe. Behind him, Mark Doran approached. "Final reports are in," Mark said. "Damage to the outer sectors. 10 wounded, 1 still in recovery. But we lost no one in the second wave." William nodded. "The Creel and the AI, without them, we wouldn't be here." "They're still in orbit," Mark said. "Watching. Waiting. They said they'll stay as long as we need them." William smiled faintly. "Then maybe this is the start of something new." In the central plaza, the people gathered. Families, workers, cadets, elders, all stood around as the sun rose over the ridge. For once, they weren't afraid of what might come next. William stepped up onto the simple stone platform. He didn't wear armor or a command badge today, just a plain jacket and worn boots. He looked at the people, not as their leader, but as one of them. "We were told we had no right to exist," he began, "that we were a danger, that our past was a curse that would follow us forever." He paused, letting the silence settle. "But we're still here, and we didn't survive by becoming like them. We didn't destroy everything in our path. We built. We protected. We chose to stand together, not just as humans, but as something better." He looked at the children in the front row. "The Council may still watch us. They may still fear us, but they can't erase us. Not anymore. We proved that humanity can change, and that, when given a choice, we choose to live with hope." There were no cheers, only quiet nods. That was how Nova Terra showed its strength, not through noise, but through unity. Later that day, William recorded one last message, not just for the Council, but for anyone still listening across the stars. This is Commander William Carter of Nova Terra. We were banned. We were hunted. But we survived. We are human. We remember our mistakes. But we will not be erased by them. To those who fear us, come and see who we are now. To those who believe in second chances, we welcome you. He sent the message out across the galaxy. Then he shut off the console and stepped outside. The air was crisp. The sun rose higher. Above, the rogue AI ships began to leave, slowly vanishing into deep space. The Creel sent one final transmission. You kept your promise. So will we. Nova Terra was alone again, but not isolated. They were no longer hiding. They had earned the right to exist, not through power, but through purpose. That evening, William stood alone at the cliff again. He watched the stars appear, one by one. No longer threats, just lights, possibilities. He closed his eyes, breathed in the cool air, and smiled. Humanity had a future now.